It's game day, Detroit. You're waking up with Woodward and Maine, your source for all the insider information on the defending NFC North champion Detroit Lions. With insight from Detroit sports media legend Terry Foster and rising star Matt Broder. Get ready, Detroit. It's now time for Woodward and Maine.
Good morning, everybody. Sunday morning, another Lions game day. They do play today, right?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, because they didn't, we wouldn't be here.
Right.
Welcome to the Woodward and Maine Street Show. I'm Terry Foster, along with the lefty. I don't even know the name of the show. Let me look at
Woodward and Maine.
Woodward and Maine. Well, there's a little ST at the end, so it's Main Street.
Yeah, we our abbreviation is just taking out the ST period because it saves so much time.
All right. The guy over here, Gavin, that's the lefty, Matt Broder. Welcome.
How you doing, Terry?
I'm doing well.
We ready for week 3?
Ready for week 3, and the secondary name of this show could be Bitch Please. And I have a Bitch Please segment to start off. Now, I am told, this is not the way I was taught to do radio or podcast, but I have to let you know KG is here. What up,
yeah,
what up?
What up, though?
Sneaky Pete. and Sneaky, when I saw you this morning, I almost called out to you, and I was going to call you Slimy Pete.
Slimy
That
Pete?
would not have been right.
Right?
It is what it is, man.
I'm glad I kept my mouth shut.
You walked in, he was in the coffee shop, he was in
The
roast.
coffee shop. I saw him. I was gonna say, "Hey, Slimy." No, that's not his name.
Hey, slimy.
And we even got Chase. We got Chase, one of our awesome interns
Oh,
here.
shout out.
Sure.
I gotta fix
to
Chase's
show
shot
up.
there.
Terry, we have a full crew here. We started with just 3 of us. There's just you,
I
me,
know.
and Petey. Now they're giving us Chase and KG.
We're almost like the morning show. Y'all got
Almost.
like 20, 30 people on the show.
That's true.
Almost.
Now,
We got reserves.
excuse me. Way I was taught to do radio and podcast is just get to the shit. And here's what I'm gonna do. Bitch, please. Now, I've been toiling around the town and everything, and I keep hearing the Lions cannot win today's game against the Arizona Cardinals.
I'm hearing the same thing. Like people
Really?
are, this is a trap game, Terry.
All right. Every game is a trap game. Here's the deal. One, I believe in the Detroit Lions. I believe in the organization. I believe in these players. I believe in Dan Campbell. I believe in Brad Holmes. I believe this is a complete organization and team. Now, what we saw in the first 2 games essentially was the preseason. Now, they have played 2 full games. That essentially was the preseason. So I think now today you see a breakout game by the Detroit Lions, a complete game.
Yeah.
And so when you say they cannot win the day, here's what I say. Bitch, please, shut up.
Shut up.
They're going to win the day.
Oh, you shut up.
I believe they will win today. And I don't think Arizona, who's playing better with Kyler Murray, I don't think they're ready for prime time. And so what the Lions are going to do, there's a lot of things that the Lions can fix. One, let's talk about the coaching.
Yeah.
You don't have Jared Goff passing 55 times. They know that. And I'm not saying you need to go to a complete ground game, but how about balance?
Yeah.
Balance. Have Goff pass 25, 30 times. But Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery and the offensive line is still a hot commodity. Lean on them. And, yeah, it doesn't always go well at first, but when you run the football and believe in it, essentially teams like Arizona will break down.
Yeah.
They get tired. They're like, oh, man, they coming again? Nah, I'm not ready for this. And that's what happened with the L.A. Rams. L.A. Rams, when that overtime started, they're like, please do not run the football.
Yeah.
We're not ready.
It's not like they were super effective throughout the entire game. It was right there at the end of the 4th
Correct.
and overtime where it's like, we don't care. You're more tired than us. We're gonna pound the rock, Terry.
Mm-hmm. Now, as far as coaching is concerned, there are opportunities for them to win this game. I thought the play calls were bad. I don't like, you got the ball 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. I don't like when you do a deep pitch in a situation like that. Not with this team. Certain teams, yeah, you do that. But with the Detroit Lions, I would have run the football. 1st and 12, not 1st and 12, but 1st and 10 at the 12. You get 4 yards. then all of a sudden you can pass, you can run, you can do a lot of different things.
Yeah, wherever you are on the field, a second or a third and 6 or 7 with this Lions offense and what we know of them from last year, that's as effective or valuable as any, or as confusing to a defensive coordinator. Are they going to run? Are they going to pass? Much different than a second and 13 or 14, whereas a pass is coming.
Right, and plus you had Tampa's big man out.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense, Terry. That's why I've been optimistic. All the things they need to clean up, it's the offense and it's the coaching.
I think the coaching lost this for them.
Yeah. This is the coaching staff that came. Ben Johnson came back. He could have taken an offensive coordinator job. He's back with the entire offense.
Here's the other thing. Oh, the league has figured out Ben Johnson. Bitch, please. No, they haven't. They still have 451 yards of offense. What they didn't do, they didn't score in the red zone. And guess what? If you look at the National Football League, the whole league did not score in the red zone. And I think of the Lions, they could have, if once they're in the red zone, pound that rock.
You have to. You don't have that big body receiver yet. And if Sam Laporta wasn't healthy or, he wasn't in the game plan like Dan Campbell said, that's fine. Okay, you're easing him back into it. All the more reason to pound the football with the run game in the red zone.
Or. You say, okay, we can't use Laporta between the 20s. Once you're in the red zone, post his ass up.
Yes.
Hit it with a high pass, touchdown.
Yeah. That's what Arizona's going to try to do to them today with Marvin Harrison Jr. or Trey McBride. Moral of the story, though, you got your best red zone weapons. Either go to them or just hand it off to David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs every single time.
Right.
To me, it's easy. That's why I don't get Ben Johnson. I don't get it.
I started to show off by saying I believe in the Detroit Lions. I believe in this coaching staff. I believe they will look at that, and I believe when they're in a situation like that again, they will switch. They'll probably still be Hollywood and want to throw the ball. But once they get into that red zone, they know their bread and butter is pounding the rock.
Yeah.
And none of this fancy shit where you get the ball and you pitch it behind it. No. Go north and south.
North and south. That's what you got to do. If I'm not mistaken, they have the number 1 offensive line in the league and the number 1 offensive lineman in the league, arguably the best football player in the league. They haven't played that great, but that doesn't mean you go away from them. You use it. You run it.
Here's what I know. Penei Sewell is still a monster out there.
Monster.
Right. So once you get into the red zone, Penei Sewell is still cracking people upside the head. When you ran the football, you ran left. Run right. You got that right side is tough to beat. So I think Penei Sewell would have taken 2 dudes, cracked their heads together like coconuts, and you would have had a hole right there.
There's coconut water
right.
Just dripping from Honolulu, because it's Honolulu Blue territory at Ford Field. Terry, on this topic, though, you said, bitch, please, people think that they're not gonna win this game. They haven't lost a back-to-back game since 2022.
Correct.
Not only that, they've won each game by double digits.
Correct.
Are you going that far? Like, they're going to win the game and they're going to win by double digits?
Well, at some point, that streak has to end. And at some point, they're going to lose back-to-back games. But not here. They're not going to go 1-2. They're not going to be they're not going to put themselves in that type of trouble. If they were like 7-2 or something, I could see them losing this game.
Yeah.
But no, this is desperation time for them, and it's time for them to get themselves right mentally.
Yeah.
And
you hit coaching in the first part of this, and I just asked if they're gonna continue that streak, which to me points a lot to coaching, like Dan Campbell having this team ready to go. In terms of being ready for the game, forget the offensive play calling and whatnot. They're going to be ready. Dan Campbell's not going to have this team not
Here's
ready
the deal.
to go.
Dan Campbell had his team ready for the game, for last week's game. What he didn't do well, or what Ben Johnson didn't do well, was once they got into the nitty-gritty part of the field, and I'm talking about the red zone, they didn't call smart plays. They didn't call plays that were advantageous to the Detroit Lions. Yeah. Because the windows are smaller, and you can't go to J-Mo in situations like that often.
Right.
So, and I didn't like the fact that they threw every pass was behind the chain.
Yeah.
And then you're asking people to break tackles when Tampa, you know what? One thing, they may have been injured, but they could tackle.
They could tackle.
Yeah, they weren't letting you loose.
It seemed like every time they tried that last year, you know, they made a habit of finding Laporta, finding St. Brown a yard or two short of the first down because they had that much confidence that both Jared Goff was going to place the ball in the right spot where they could get some yards after catch. And also you just trusted St. Brown and Laporta to get that extra yard for the first down. That doesn't mean it's the best strategy in the world. Or if you run into a team like the Bucs who were tackling well, you got to take that route past the first down line, even if they're waiting there.
Here's what I believe more. David Montgomery and Penei Sewell. I don't care if Montgomery has I don't care if he's rushed for 12 yards on 9 carries or something like that. There are certain times where you still got to go that way.
Yeah.
There's certain times where you got to say, hey, you know what? Let's loosen these guys up. Let's punch them right in the face and go at it.
Go at them.
You don't have Jared Goff 55 times. Okay, guys, let me sling it 55 times. He ain't Brett Favre. He ain't Joe Montana. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Fine, solid quarterback. I believe the best guy for this particular team. But not when you take him out of his comfort zone. Not when you take your whole team out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And you wasted a pretty good defensive effort.
A really good one. Mm-hmm. A really good one, even without Marcus Davenport. Remember Hutch had 4.5 sacks in that game? Mm-hmm. Like, Hutch is breaking out. He might have a chance this week, too, although there's a much more mobile quarterback that we're going to talk about that they got to worry about. Hutch has the ability to keep this going. Not 4.5 sacks every game, but being an absolute disruptor every single game. Terrell Williams talked about that on it was Tim 20 minutes in the huddle. Terrell Williams is the defensive line coach. Just talks about just how good this kid is, how hard, how his motor literally never stops from snap 1 to snap 90.
And that was the thing they said about him when he was at Michigan. That the motor never stopped.
Never.
And let me put this on this show for the first time, and then later on you're gonna hear people talk about it. Oh, you know what? I think Aidan Hutchinson could be Defensive Player of the Year. I'm gonna throw that out there first. He could. And you know, the sample size is small.
He could what?
Be Defensive Player of the Year.
Say it.
Aidan Hutchinson is going to be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh, yeah. I think he's going to win it. I know you I hate to rain on your parade, Terry.
You know me about sample sizes, though. I don't like jumping on things when you just have a 2-game sample size. But this dude's on fire.
He's on fire. Hey, KG, I might need some support because I don't want to make the legend. I don't want to step in front of the legend, but I may or may not have picked Aidan Hutchinson to win Defensive Player of the Year on Wake Up Woodward.
You did.
Possibly.
He off to a great start. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but he says that every year, though.
That's true. That's true.
I said it last year, Kate. Oh, I did?
No, you didn't. I'm just messing.
I know.
But to be fair, a lot of Hutch's sacks have come from backup tackles. He's facing another one today in Kelvin Beachum. Not to minimize what he's done at all, because what he's done has been absolutely incredible. But eventually you feel like he's got to come back down to earth. He's going against a more mobile QB today. So I see him maybe only having 1 sack, even with a backup tackle in there. But I don't think that's a bad game by any stretch. If you still produce the amount of pressures that you do, get to the quarterback, maybe hit him a few times, drive him into the interior and the other side of that defensive line, and I think everything will work out great. He's on his way, though. He's on his way.
If you're able to harass Kyler Murray, where he turns into old Kyler Murray and just scrambling around looking for people and doesn't know what to do, that's effective also.
It is.
That's the key. Kyler Murray's maybe underrated in the league. His elevation to what he's done so far this year, he scrambles, but he scrambles with his eyes down the field, and he is looking to pass. He just has pretty elite wheels as a quarterback. He's not very tall, but he's got some wheels. I think what they need, with Marcus Davenport coming back this game, dude's a beast. And with DJ Reader now healthy, maybe he plays 35 snaps, they need to, and Terrell Williams used this comment, crush the can. They need to condense that pocket so that Kyler Murray can't get out. They need to contain him and make him beat you with his arms.
So they need to become the Nutcrackers.
Yeah, the Nutcrackers. Mm-hmm. Just crunch them pre-Christmas.
Because you don't want him turning upfield. But the thing I'll say about I did not respect Kyler Murray. I thought he was a clown. Mm-hmm. But he has his mind set now. He's better. He's in the playbook. He's more professional. He understands that this league is not about just showing up and playing ball. You got to be really serious about your craft. He's serious about his craft. But I just don't think Arizona is ready for prime time.
No, they're on the rise, but they're not ready for this. They're not ready for the Lions. An angry.
They're the Lions 2 years ago.
I love that comparison because I think they're on the rise too. They made some good moves for agency draft. They got a coach that looked. I made fun of him at the beginning. Pew, pew, I made fun of him, but they play hard for him. Like they're building a culture out in Arizona. It's going to take some time, but Kyler Murray has some weapons. There are many holes to fill. He's got Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride, James Conner's playing well. He's got some guys now, and this team.
Okay, Sneaky Pete is having a heart attack over here.
No. Break, we lost your mic.
Yeah,
Take
right.
break.
Technical difficulties.
Okay.
Yeah, let's break real quick.
Break.
We have technical difficulties.
Yeah, just take a break. Yeah, so
All right.
Yeah.
Let's figure this stuff out. We'll be back for the Woodward and Maine show. Terry Foster, Matthew the Lefty Broder. We'll see you in a minute.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Welcome back to the Woodward and Maine show, not Main Street. I want to apologize. What happened was Broder's bad breath was melting the plastic on the microphone, and the equipment went out.
It happens, I got to brush my teeth every
I
morning.
was gonna say,
You
brush
gotta
your
be
teeth. They got Scope without alcohol in it.
Oh, yeah?
Because I know it burns your mouth and stuff.
Something else burns my mouth.
Oh yeah, man. Most definitely.
No, if they didn't know the context, that's a definite pause moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, Terry. I don't know where to go.
It's all right. You're good.
Trying to channel, what was it, the Little Big Giants, or when the linemen line up across from each other and the one he vomits on the other lineman's hand. Was it the water boy? I don't know, man. I melted the mic. That's because I spit hot flames.
Okay, I didn't mean to get you off.
Die line. Okay, die line.
Now, we were
we're
talking
good.
about Kyler Murray.
Speaking of throwing you off your game.
And Kyler Murray is the type of quarterback that scares Lions fans. You know why?
Why?
Because the brother can run. So
The brother can run.
The Lions' weakness, one of their weaknesses has been containing mobile quarterbacks. Kyler Murray can be a bear.
Yeah.
So I think the Lions are better equipped to not shut a guy down, not shut his running down, but to limit his running.
I agree, but why? Why do you think so?
Because they got younger guys at the corner. I think, Reeder and Davenport and guys like that are not going to let him turn that corner as easily to get into the secondary. So I think they've got a better shot.
When you have Reeder just absolutely creating chaos up the middle, he can't escape out the front. He can't escape on the interior of that offensive line. It has to be around the edges. So it's going to be a big game for Hutch and Davenport or whoever is playing opposite Hutch to not only make sure they're getting pressure and closing that pocket, but not letting Kyler Murray run around them the outside.
Yeah, because what would happen is Hutch would get after the quarterback, and he would slip out the back door for 12, 15 yards.
Yes.
So that can't happen today. And it's going to happen, but it's not going to happen to the multitude of like a Justin Fields did to them and stuff. So I think they're going to be able to contain that because I think the interior is going to shut that out and create a pocket where he's going to have to pass the ball.
Yeah, but you also brought up a great point about the young cornerbacks. And I'll even throw the linebackers into that. Right now, if I'm not mistaken, Alex Anzalone is still questionable to play with a concussion. And so, we want to talk about, is Jack Campbell able to step up? But just in general, this linebacker core, it's a lot deeper than it was. Even with Anzalone out, and I think that's a big loss, you got Jack Campbell, you got Derek Barnes, who may be coming off the edge a little bit. Malcolm Rodriguez has been playing a lot.
I see that.
Yeah, so they got dudes there that are experienced now to come up and help. If Kyler Murray leaks out, they're there and they're athletic, as well as the Terrion Arnold. Rakestraw's not playing today. He has a hamstring injury, but Amik Robertson,
or we
Brian
call him
Branch,
a hammy.
A hammy. These DBs, they tackle. That's part of the requirement of what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell wanted. Nice cover corners, but they have to be able to tackle because they want to prevent this. And if I'm the Cardinals, I'm trying to get Kyler Murray out of that pocket of monsters. I'm also trying to get the ball into the flats to James Conner, who's a really underrated running back too when he's healthy. James Conner and Trey Benson. So they're going to be looking for the short passes just to keep moving the chains against the Lions. I'm confident that they got the guys to shut that down, Terry, too.
Right. Well, here is my prediction. In football, you got to show that you're a man.
Yes.
So I think the Arizona Cardinals are going to try to show that they're men. They keep here on the Lions, you can't run against them. But they got Conner, who's run the ball well.
Yeah.
I think they're going to say, okay, we're going to show that we're men. So we're going to establish a run. It's either going to work or it will fail. If it works, then you got yourself a problem.
Yeah.
If it fails, they'll say, okay, we don't want to do this.
James Conner's a lot like David Montgomery. They're not exactly the same type of running back, but they want to start with power. He's hard to bring down. They want to start that, and then even if it doesn't work, like you said, they like the play action pass too. They like doing things off of the run game. This Trey McBride, this young tight end for the Cardinals, he's turned it into one of the better tight ends in the league. They like looking for him. They like looking for Marvin Harrison Jr., making things happen down the field when plays break down. Greg Dortch, Michael Wilson, Trey Benson, the backup running back. If the Lions can't take advantage of this young offensive line that's playing maybe a little better than they should, they're still young, they're still inexperienced. If they can take advantage of that, it could be a long day for the Cardinals. But flip side, if Kyler Murray gets out and is running around all day, it could be a long day for the Lions. So they got to contain him, just like you said, just like you brought this question up when we were talking yesterday. They have to contain Kyler Murray. If you do that, you win. W, easy.
Correct. And like I said, I don't think the Cardinals are ready for a prime time game.
No.
So, and
Terry,
this is prime time.
I want to ask you, you alluded to a story earlier, and it's on the Aidan Hutchinson topic, but there was an old defensive line coach. I don't remember him. But back in, it was 95, 96, you said, there's an offensive line coach who did something unique with his defensive line coach.
Yes.
Who did something unique with his players?
His name was John Teerlink, and here's what he used to do. He wanted to motivate his defensive linemen to sack the quarterback. And so what he would do is if you sacked a quarterback, then they put like a little photo of that quarterback on top of your locker.
Like taped it or
Taped
pinned
it
it
up
or
there,
something?
right. Let's say that,
Brett Favre.
let's say that Aidan Hutchinson sacked Kyler Murray 3 times today. They would put Kyler Murray's mugshot, 3 of his mugshots above your locker room.
Yeah.
Of your locker. And so you would do that the entire season. Now, the way that Aidan Hutchinson is playing, there could be a lot of photos over his locker room, or
So-
over his locker.
So I'll forget the half a sack against Baker Mayfield, unless that's part of it too. Like, so there'd be 4 or 5 pictures of Baker that John Teerlink is his name.
Yes.
He would put up not in his locker, in Aidan Hutchinson's
Aidan
locker
Hutchinson's
or
locker.
Levi O's
Correct.
locker.
Right.
Interesting.
So it was a great motivational thing, and so guys were excited. You know, people always say, well, these players are only motivated by money. Not true. If you give them shirts, if you put photos above their lockers and stuff like that, that motivated players too. Because Teerlink wanted them to be more aggressive. The Lions haven't had much of a pass rush over the years.
Right.
And so now pass rush in the NFL today is very important because these quarterbacks will kill you if you don't put pressure on them. So I don't know if we have this, but this is what Aidan Hutchinson's locker could look like by the end of the year. Yeah. If we can show you that graphic.
We aren't going to use that.
We're not using the graphic.
I
Okay,
want you
forget
to paint
it.
the picture. It didn't come out like I had thought, but
it was still cute.
It was cute. Here, I'll send it over to Petey while paint the picture of what Aidan Hutchinson's might look like. Was it at the end of the year?
Right.
Yeah.
Because according to you, he's going to break the record. He's going to have 30 sacks this year.
I don't know if he's saying
right?
that, T-Far.
No. He's getting 17, and he might push. He might flirt with the record. Like, Aidan Hutchinson is that kind of dude. And this might be the first day we see him with the entire defensive line healthy and playing. Like, we're talking Hutch, Ali McNeil, DJ Reader, and Marcus Davenport. Mm-hmm. Throw in Levi O, little Josh Pascal, Wingo. Like, that will be at the end of the year one of the best defensive fronts in the entire NFL. Who do you guard? If you're game planning against that defensive line, what do you do? How do you double or triple Hutch? All right, you got Davenport on the other side.
But you still have to double, triple Hutch. You got to slide that tight end over there. You still have to do it.
You do.
So then other people have to step up, which they probably will.
They will. Aleem, Davenport. They might have a sack apiece today. Hutch might not have 4, but they might have 4 total. Hutch has 1 or 2, and then those guys have 1 or 2 apiece. This is, to me, the vision. Bringing in those guys, especially bringing in DJ Reader, who doesn't need sacks. Like, he's there so that the other guys can get sacks. Mm-hmm. He just happens to be an elite run defender. Underrated in the pass rush, though, but that's not his primary job.
What Reader needs to do is let the quarterback know what he had for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to get close enough to him. Say, oh, yeah, you had scrambled eggs and...
Gotta melt the mic.
Right. Got it.
Hoosiers.
Like
Yeah.
scrambled eggs?
No, when Gene Hackman told Buddy, he goes, I want you to stick by the end of the game, I want to know what flavor chewing gum he has.
Got you. Got you. So you smell it coming off his breath.
Yeah, y'all are just movie freaks around here.
You're right. I swear there's some freaky stuff going on.
It's a freak off.
You're right.
Jeremy would be proud that I knew that one.
Forgot the baby oil.
But the athleticism of this defensive line it's part of their strength. But take a little break here, Terry, or let me hit you with the bitch, please.
Okay.
Because I heard a legendary coach that I respect, or at least respected him before some of these comments. Mm-hmm. I think he said one of the most disrespectful things I've heard in a very long time. Didn't mean it disrespectful.
Or
but
stupid.
Stupid.
How about that?
Idiotic. Said, this is Bill Belichick, said that former Lions coach, if you want to call him that, Matt Patricia, that these Lions are enjoying the fruits of his labor. That these Detroit Lions in 2024 are enjoying the fruits of Matt Patricia's labor. Bitch, please, Terry. That is one of the worst things I have ever heard. That shows no feel for the game. Shows he's not really following football anymore.
Or he's trying to, support one of his boys.
I said the same thing.
Let
me correct you. That is not a bitch, please.
Why not?
That's a bullshit.
Okay.
That's how bad that is.
You can't connect one dot. Yes, there were players drafted during the time he was here. Okay, that means nothing to me.
He didn't draft him.
Exactly.
But here's why this is so chaotic. Matt Patricia pissed off a locker room.
Everybody.
Dan Campbell embraced that locker room. So you my boy. I'm going to motivate you, but we are a family. Matt Patricia, his whole thing was, I'm smarter than all you knuckleheads. I'm going to lead you to the promised land. He was told over and over again, don't try to be Bill Belichick, because you're not. It's exactly what he tried to do.
Exactly. The Patriot way, Terry. The Patriot way.
Patriot way doesn't work outside of New England.
All of the coaches in Bill Belichick's family tree haven't worked as head coaches themselves. Right. They have to be under him. There's something missing there. But you can't. I don't care if he's your friend, Terry. You can't. That's disrespectful to Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes and Sheila Hamp. But to give any credit to that man, this current team, it hurts for me It hurts. It's like when other people in sports media in Detroit, the Tigers lose one game and it's, I bet they really like to have Jack Flaherty there. Like, that's disrespectful to what A.J. Hinch has been doing with this Tigers team. To give credit to Matt Patricia, who didn't even labor himself. Like, he's driving the golf cart around. He can't even walk. Like, to say the fruits of his labor, this team, this is 100% Dan Campbell and the culture that he and Brad Holmes and Sheila Hampton built, and Spielman.
Oh, absolutely. Because if they had brought in the wrong coaches, guess what? The Lions would be 8-9. Mm-hmm. They'd be missing the playoffs. They wouldn't be doing anything. You had to bring in the right general manager, the right coach that could work together. You were at ground zero when you started this thing. Remember, when they started, the culture was here. They started a new thing, but they were 3-13. That's what Matt Patricia created.
Yeah.
He had you in the basement. So now you got to figure out, how do we get to the first floor? How do we get to the third floor? So,
you know how you wanted to get there without your best cover cornerback, without Darius Slay, without other team leaders. This is my team now. You'll listen to me or get out. The new medicals. He cleaned house not just with the players. He didn't just piss off the players. It's the entire organization.
Yeah, he did. And the other thing was this: if a player said, "Hey, Matt, we should try this," he said, "Get the hell out of here."
Yeah.
He had coaches talk about an open door policy. He had a closed door policy. So he would say, and then if the player would say, "Okay, wait a minute, Matt, I said, why don't we try this?" He said, "Okay, so now you bugging me a second time about this. You bug me again, your ass is out." Darius Slay was out. Diggs was out. Because they were people
Glover Quinn?
Was
Glover Quinn? Did he piss Glover Quinn off too?
Yeah. Glover Quinn. So, but these were guys who were strong personalities, but if I'm a coach and some of my better players are saying, "Hey, why don't we try this?" I may not do it, but I sure am going to consider it.
Why not? Mm-hmm. You can't have, as a head coach or a coordinator, you can't have that big of an ego that you know everything in the world, like that someone else can't come up with a good creative idea. Like, your team is preparing for that to face that team too.
Right.
Ben Johnson will take plays from referees in training camp.
Yeah. How did Matt Patricia help Ben Johnson?
He kept him as the tight end coach because Ben Johnson was here when Patricia was here. I don't remember him getting any opportunity to help that offense.
Right.
He drafted Ragnow 20th. Matt Patricia, only drafted Ragnow 20th.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Bill Belichick must understand that Matt Patricia wasn't in charge of the grocery list and also putting the meals together. Mm-hmm. But, once again, he destroyed a bad culture, which was difficult to do.
You're right.
Wait, he destroyed a bad culture. You're so right.
That is like almost impossible to do. So when Dan Campbell came in and he started talking about building this thing up, we saw what was there. So we laughed at the dude. Bro, you can't correct this because you've had 5 decades of failure. You had Matt Millen. You had Quinn Trisha.
Martin Mayhew
good
in
luck,
between.
Yeah, good luck with trying to correct this thing. That's going to be impossible. So,
Calvin Johnson Jr., he broke all the wide receiver records because Matt Millen drafted him. It's
correct.
Matt Millen's credit.
Right.
Fruits of his labor.
Sure. Is that also why Calvin got the hell out of here?
Yeah, right.
Matt Stafford got the hell out of here?
Now people are asking to come here. Brad Holmes is having to tell people, sorry, there's no room for you.
Here's what Matt Patricia built. He built a thing where Calvin Johnson, in the prime of his career, said, "I'm out. I know you got new coaches. I know you got a new GM, but they can't fix this." Matt Stafford, and we can criticize him for getting the heck out of here, but he said, "Okay, I'm in my prime. You can't fix this, what Matt Patricia built. I'm out."
There's no hope.
Well, new coaches, new GM fixed it some way, somehow. They got players to embrace this thing. They stopped pissing players off.
Yeah. They didn't
And-
have "I'm the smartest guy in the room" syndrome.
Correct.
And that's why I love that so many people now, and you were one of the first people after Sheila Hamp took over and things started to turn a little bit, making sure that she gets her credit, because it would have been really easy to either go hire Robert Saleh or to seek out a head coach that, it's a boy genius. Like they have all the modern football, the X's and O's. But no, she wanted to make sure that the head coach was a leader. That's her one requirement. He's a leader. Not coming in trying to do everything this way. It's gonna work or it isn't gonna work. Let's just lead and build a culture, and that's what Dan Campbell was. And having the foresight for him, hey, I'm not the smartest guy in the room. Let me put Ben Johnson with me. Let me put Aaron Glenn. That's after actually firing a couple of his friends, when it didn't work. Having the balls to do that, that's the type of head coach they needed, and Sheila Hamp found him.
Right. And actually, the Lions did this the wrong way. I would have hired Brad Holmes first and say, okay, I have Chris Spielman, I have Barry, whoever's on my team, you're going to be part of that. Now, hire a coach. They did it half-assed backwards, but it worked.
It worked.
They saw something in Dan Campbell, and I will admit this, I confess. If I was part of the interview process, I would have said, don't hire him, because this is a clownish organization, and you're bringing in a guy who's a clown.
Yeah.
But they saw something that I would not have been able to pick up on.
Yeah.
I'll admit that.
Yeah.
And so it works.
Now, Terry,
And he's still on the edge.
He is, but that's authentic. Like, he's still authentic, Dan Campbell. He's gotten a little experience. He's gotten savvier, talking a little more coach speak to the media. Like, he's growing into his own still, but deep down, the authenticity is how he connects with the players. He's been through it.
Right.
He tells them, and he doesn't make every decision right. We talk about some in-game decisions, but also the offense not being ready, maybe till week 6 after the bye. His players trust. We could argue about it all we want. His players trust whatever he thought was the right path during training camp and to not play during preseason. He has 100% buy-in. That's all you're looking
and this
for.
new breed of players, you got to do something silly to motivate them. You got to go for it on 4th and 7. You got to, do fake punts, because this really excites the locker room. Because basically, even if it's a right or wrong decision that doesn't work,
Yeah.
what you're telling those players is, I believe in you. I know you can overcome this. And, even when he screwed up with the field goal thing at the end, he thought that his players could overcome his mess up.
Yeah. And they could. They didn't that game, but they could. They can. They have. Literally not one back-to-back loss since 2022. That, to me, tells that paints a picture of a team and a coach that's able to make adjustments. They're able to not sulk on a loss. That was a kind of a bad loss against Tampa Bay. You got to win that game. They dominated that game and they lost. Okay, put it behind you. We have Arizona. They're coming. You're circled on their calendar. You're being hunted now. We got to be ready to go. I have faith in that. Even through all the moving that Dan Campbell and his family have to do this last week. You hear about the fans, Lions fans after the loss, they got a hold of Dan Campbell's address. Mm-hmm. They started, was it fake handyman coming to the door when his daughter's home? It got weird, and they immediately were like, we got to get out of here. We got to move. Committed to the city, not worried about the city and Lions fans, but his privacy was, he doesn't feel safe at his home now. So
No,
he's gotta move.
he should worry about Lion fans. You should worry about society. I don't
Good
know
point.
what is wrong with us, but our society has gone bankrupt. We do silly things. We say silly stuff. We don't care about each other like we used to.
It's true. It's true. Sports used to be what brought people together.
So I'd move too, if I were him.
I don't know where you moved, and somebody's going to get your address. Like, regardless, you have to move, especially when safety is a concern. But what is going on with society? Like, Eastern Market, after the game last year, we didn't talk about last week.
Right.
We didn't talk about it a lot on Monday, but there was a shooting at the Eastern Market tailgate, and 2 people lost their lives.
Here's what I don't understand. You're going to a tailgate to have fun. What do we do at tailgates? We eat, we drink,
Laugh.
we
be
meet
merry.
new friends,
Laugh.
we hug people we don't even know.
Yeah.
Right.
Then we go to the Lions game, and
High five.
the outcome wasn't what we wanted. Then you come back to the tailgate, and I have a gun. Why do you need a gun at a tailgate?
Don't.
You don't. I mean, I don't carry a gun, but you don't. I know people. You don't. There's no reason.
Well-
If I had a gun, if I'm going to a public event like that, I'm putting it away. Yes, sir.
Well, secondly, you can't be carrying a gun and having it even on your person when you're drinking alcohol, even sniffing alcohol. So that's another rule.
So why bring it?
So why bring it?
Bring it?
No point.
But it happened. What do you Eastern Market? They're playing it by ear. Like they.
Yeah, no, they're not playing by the next game is a Monday night game.
Yeah.
Yes,
Next home
30th.
game.
Yes.
The Eastern Market tailgate will be closed. There will be no Eastern Market tailgate, and it's supposedly, quote unquote, to honor the family of the victim.
Not safety. It's just they're not doing it to honor the family. Like that's what they said.
That's what they said. That's what the Detroit police said. Now, to me, I don't understand how that's honoring the family. If it were me, and my wife or daughter or son got murdered, shoot, the fact that the Eastern Market is closed does nothing for me.
You probably want some help with funeral expenses.
Sure, pay for the funeral,
Yeah.
or give me a little money or something. That would help me more than the Eastern Market being closed.
Yeah. And even just coming together, running it back, having the trust in your fans and your vendors to, all right, we can do this. We can do this and not have to worry about guns every single time. This was a once in a lifetime. Something happened, and it's horrible, but it's not going to happen. But bring more security, more police. Terry, I was down at Eastern Market on Thursday night for Eastern Market After Dark, and they had so many police there, just extra protection for safety. Everything went fine. It seemed a little soon, but they had it all under control. And this was at night. And I guess Monday Night Football, you got to worry about some similar things. But I don't know if just canceling it altogether is the right move. I got to think about that more, Terry. What about you, KG?
Yeah, also, I just wanted to make mention that the guy that actually shot the person that died, he was found to be acting within self-defense.
Yeah.
So there was no charges coming his way. Not that does anything for the family or anything like that. I have heard that they will continue to do tailgates going forward. They just won't be doing it in this particular weekend. And I do think that part of it is for security protocols. Not that you might not necessarily need 3 weeks to figure out security, right. But I think they want to honor their family as well as, make sure that things like this don't happen in the future when they begin to have these tailgates again.
But you know what? Last time I checked, the city of Detroit has the fireworks, which is much bigger than this.
Yeah.
It has Eastern Market has some type of festival or something every Sunday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Flower Day or something.
And you know what? There's no problems. But you know what they have? They have extra security.
Mm-hmm. And why is that? Because they have had shooting incidents in the past at the fireworks and things yeah.
NFL drafts. Well, we have almost 1 million people there that weekend.
What
Only
happened
3
at the
arrests.
NFL draft?
And some of them were out of town fans.
Everything went perfect.
I heard of one incident. I was a volunteer for the NFL draft, and what happened was this guy asked one of the volunteers, how do you get to the main stage? And so they told him how to get there, but you can't go there because the main stage is cut off. So the person was upset because the volunteer told them that you can't go to the main stage now, so they punched the person. Once again, society not thinking. I ask somebody a question, they don't give me the answer I want, by no means of their own, so I hit the person. We don't make sense sometimes.
No. They jump instead of being able to understand that, hey, not everyone thinks like I do. Whether it's debating a sport or a win or a loss after the game, the immediate reaction is throw the fist up, pull a gun out.
Right. I'd rather have you throw the fist at me than the gun.
Well, yeah.
But once again, I mean, we don't think rationally as a society. How about this? Some of us don't.
Yeah.
I can't put myself in position where I get so mad. Okay, my solution is to shoot somebody in public.
Yeah. It's ruining everything. There will be a time where people don't even go to the games. You know, they're not going to even go down. Do I go to Eastern Market and tailgate, spend a couple $100, have fun, but you're risking
You know
being
who one
shot?
of those people is?
Who?
Me. I'd rather watch a Lions game at home than at Ford Field.
You can get up and use the bathroom whenever you want.
Right. Because
Have
I'm
whatever
like,
drink you want.
yeah. And I'm not, I can get into my little fridge and pull out a water or beer or something.
And it doesn't cost you
It's not gonna
$12.
It's not going to cost me $8.
Right.
Or $12 or whatever it is. I don't have to wait to go to the bathroom. I just go to the bathroom. And now this part is corrected. They didn't show you replays at live events. There would be a controversial play, and you're like, okay, should I be pissed or should I not pissed? And they wouldn't show it to you. At home, not only do I get a replay, but I get people telling me why it's right, why it's the wrong decision. I'm in my big, comfy chair.
Reclined a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Hanging.
And I would have made something that I like. Maybe smoke some meat or
Some weed.
Isn't this partially on the city
it's a
too?
weedless society, but I can control. If I want it to be a weed out, it could be a weed out.
Whatever
If I
you control the environment.
Yeah.
It's my choice.
No, I was gonna say, isn't this partly on the city too for not really having a great tailgate space for fans? Like most NFL stadiums have huge parking lots in which you can tailgate and you don't run into these problems. You have to kind of, space out and go to a smaller area like an Eastern Market where you're getting these influx of new fans with the fans that have been tailgating there for years. And it kind of creates problems. People don't have places to park. People have disagreements over this, that, and the other. And it's just becoming an issue. And I think that the city should maybe take a look at that and maybe try to come up with a different space or maybe a bigger space for fans to be able to tailgate close to the stadium, because that has been a problem with Ford Field for years.
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Because the Pontiac Silverdome had the big, huge space, and they had fights. Nobody got shot that I know of.
Oh, yeah.
But they had fights and they had things that happened. The tailgates in Detroit are so spread out. You have Eastern Market, you have right around the stadium, you have near the casino, you have, and plus, you also have the option of if I don't feel like cooking, I don't feel like bringing my own stuff, I'll go to a bar or restaurant.
Yeah.
So you've got different things that you can do. So I'm gonna say no. I don't like the big parking lot.
Not your style of tailgate. You've always been an Eastern Market guy. We'll go over maybe the next home game what your tailgate routine is. But you go to, was it Roma's or you have a bar down there?
There is the Eastern Market Brewery.
The brewery, okay.
And the Detroit City Distillery. And so yeah, those are the two places I go. Sometimes on Saturday. You can go on Sunday too. But what I like is they have it's outdoor seating Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. So it's fun.
Yeah.
So I've always liked the Eastern Market. I considered living there once upon a time, but the one thing that I like is when I walk out of my apartment or house, I like there to be grass somewhere around in there. Yeah. And there's no grass down there. They just have little weeds sprouting out of the pavement. I have to have some grass for me to lay in or something.
Fair. That's fair. Really enjoy it out on the lawn. I hear you, Terry. Fortunately, we get a week off. Yeah, we all want home games. A week off. They're out in Arizona. We spent a lot of time on the defensive line, on the DBs and linebackers. Are they going to be able to help that contain a Kyler Murray, help shut down the passes in the flats? We even talked about the offensive line in a roundabout way. It's not because of Matt Patricia that this offensive line and this fruits of labor are playing well, even though they drafted Frank Ragnow. But the offense really is a question mark. For me, at least, are they going to show up today, Terry? Jared Goff.
Let me say this. If Matt Patricia had stayed, I bet you Frank Ragnow would not be playing for the Lions. He's one of the dudes that might say, you know what, peace out.
Yeah.
They let Graham Glasgow walk.
They had Glasgow and Decker, like KG just said.
They let Glasgow walk, go to Denver. They didn't want to pay him.
When you're a football player and you put your life on the line every single game, you're doing it for someone you trust. Why would you do that for a clown?
Right.
If you don't believe in that head coach, you're not putting yourself through that.
Matt Patricia was running people off. Dan Campbell is bringing them in.
Come on. Trust me. All I think about is you, Terry. All I think.
Because, and this is not just a Matt Patricia thing, but the Detroit Lions were not a free agent destination. I always heard fans say, you know what, sign this free agent. I said, nah, they're not going to come here. Nobody wants to come here. Now they do. They'll at least consider the Detroit Lions. That has nothing to do with Matt Patricia. And I'm pissed at you for bringing this up.
I'm sorry. Like, it makes me mad, too. This is a well-respected head coach, a legendary one. Some people say the best head coach ever. It
When
just
he had
makes
Tom
me-
Brady.
That's where I was going next. It just makes me think the Brady way, Freudian slip, the Patriot way is actually Tom Brady. I don't know, Terry. It's hard. Tom Brady won a Super Bowl after he left.
Might be. But we will see, because one of these old owners who's like 80, 90 years old, they're going to hire Bill Belichick after this season.
Oh, yeah.
So he's going to get another chance. We'll see what he does. We'll see how brilliant he was. He wasn't so brilliant in Cleveland, was he?
No.
No.
You know who I think wants him? Or one of those old guys who would go for it. Al Davis or Jerry Jones. Like, if Mike McCarthy, the Cowboys coach, if they don't win a playoff game this year, he's gone.
He's out of there.
They got all their players signed. You know Jerry Jones is going to try to bring Bill Belichick
All right.
in.
Let me look at my crystal ball. The Dallas Cowboys will hire Bill Belichick, and that marriage will fail.
Yeah. Patricia, the defensive coordinator, Josh McDaniel, the offensive coordinator.
They'll become the Detroit Lions of old.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm here for that. I'm here for that because
SOD?
the Detroit Lions are taking their spot.
Hey, are we talking SOD? Same old Dallas?
Same old
Yeah.
Dallas.
Or
at
SOC?
this point-
Same old Cowboys?
Or sock.
Sock.
Same old Cowboys.
Same old Cowboys. Sock.
Hey, it all
Sod
starts.
or sock?
I like the sock. I go with the sock.
Sock.
A
SOC.
nasty sock, too.
Hey, to get there, though, I not a must-win game by any means, but I think they got to be 2-1. When we're talking tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., because we'll be here tomorrow, they got to be 2-1. Like, this is when you take that next step from good to great teams, they find a way to win this game. It's an up-and-coming team, but they got to win.
Right. And it's on the road. And one thing that I believe is sometimes you need to get away from home.
Yeah.
If things are a little bit rocky, that sometimes getting on the road, being in a hotel room, and you're more solid. You don't have to worry about family. You don't have to worry about what fans are saying and stuff. That's good for you sometimes. And I think in this situation is good for the Detroit Lions.
I apologize for interrupting. I just want to thank Mike Reed in the chat. He has gifted 10 Woodward Sports memberships, and they are currently being taken up right now. So thank you very much, Mike Reed in the chat.
Mike Reed.
Shout out.
Mike Reed. Thank you, man. We appreciate that. Glad for all 10 of you that now become members. This is just the first show of the day, Terry. And we got 5 minutes left, but this is the first show of the day. From 10 to 12, we got the pregame show with Neil Rule and Sean Belegian.
I like those guys.
They put on a good show. They put on a good show, especially when it's all NFL related and they don't veer off into Michigan State territory. It's all NFL related. After them, games at 4:25. Around 4:15, the watch party starts. The Woodward Sports watch party at Hayes Social.
Yep. Shout out
Hosted
Hayes.
by the Heavyweights.
Yep. Shout out
Hosted
Stick.
and a whole crew. And then Stick and Anson, they host the post-game show right after from Hayes Social.
So Woodward Sports has a full day of Lions coverage.
Full day
You
of
know
Lions coverage. Starts with us, though. It starts with us. And we got to get predictions.
Okay.
I want to get your final thoughts
Pain.
on this game. Feel free to talk. Again, we got 5 minutes, so just what are you predicting going into this game? Lions versus Cardinals, 4:25, 1-1.
I am predicting that the offense will look better in the red zone in particular. And I don't buy this people have figured out Dan Campbell. If they figured him out, why did they have 451 yards of total offense? I think I'm sorry. I think the Lions were too cute.
Yes.
They tried to be too cute. That's why I called them Hollywood last week.
Okay.
Now it's time to go back to the bread and butter. What are you good at? Hit that. And even if it doesn't work at first, still hit it.
The great teams stick to what they do well. Even
Right.
if it's not working, it's okay. We're playing our game. we're not gonna adjust
Bam.
to you.
Screw you.
You got to make some adjustments, but in general, pound the rock. Our identity.
Right. Now, if you hand off to Montgomery, he gains 1 yard, and the Cardinals are jumping up and down, all scared. What you do is say, "Bitch, please watch this."
Yeah.
You do it again, and you run for 12 yards.
Honestly, Ben Johnson. After hearing you say that, I know Ben Johnson's opening script for the game. It should be 4 straight runs for David Montgomery. No matter how many yards it gets, no matter if it's 4th and 10, just run it with David Montgomery. I'm being slightly sarcastic, but you gotta set the tone from the start.
Well, I tell you what, you don't want Jared Goff passing 55 times.
No.
This game.
Particularly when
30 to 35.
you're only one score down.
The whole game.
They'll get to that point, but it wasn't working. I don't know why you stuck with it. Well,
Right.
it was kind
It
of working.
worked, but when it was compacted, it didn't work.
Red zone. They were elite last year in the red zone. They were
Right.
elite. They've been one of the worst in the league so far. Hang on to your score prediction. KG, final thoughts going into this game.
I feel like the Lions defense will show up today. They're going against a younger offensive line. Kyler Murray can scramble, but I feel like they'll be able to contain him enough. And the Lions offense does get back on track, at least with running the ball and getting Sam Laporta more touches in the red zone. Give me 24-20 Lions forward down the field, baby. Let's get it.
24-20 from KG. Pete, let me get your thoughts.
Well, I said it earlier this week on Armani and Edwards with Maz. Heard here on Woodward Sports 2 to 4 o'clock. If you're gonna
2 to 356.
Wow,
2 to
there's-
356,
Promo man.
159 to 356.30. Anyway,
Also known as the final word.
if you're gonna
Go ahead.
if you are gonna keep a good offense off the field, that is the only way you can beat a good offense is to keep them off the field. So they're gonna have to run the ball. If David Montgomery runs at least 15, 20 times a game and does his job, Lions should win 24-20 there, Kenny G. I am a little skeptical on this one. I think Arizona is going to score their points. I'm going to go a little higher, 31-28, hopefully Lions.
Hey.
Okay.
See, I'm going defense, and I love both of those. The offense needs to figure it out, of course, but I think this is one of those games where we show how important, how improved this defense is. And I think they limit the Cardinals, who have an up-and-coming offense. I think they limit them. I think the defense has another big day, especially that secondary. My final score prediction, Terry, is going to be 28-21 Lions. They win by a touchdown, but it's going to be a good game from start to finish. But the defense is what makes the difference.
You and I are very similar, because I was thinking 27-21 Lions, and it's going to be a tight game, but we're going to see the Arizona Cardinals make the big screw up at the end of the game that the Lions used to make. So they'll
SOA.
have too many men on the field, or
An interception from Kyler, a sack fumble from Hutch on Kyler.
something goofy will happen that's going to make this a Lions win.
SOC, same old
With
Cardinals.
Hutch, if Davenport, if they get their hands on Kyler, we saw Stafford kind of escape someone. They had his jersey. You got to bring Kyler down. This is going to be a Hutch and Davenport day. Reader. The defense. I think we started with the show. It's the defense.
Right.
So you said 27-21?
27-21. Detroit Leos.
All right.
Yes.
Well,
And I'm confident in that.
Terry, it's 9 o'clock. That was it. You want to take us out?
Yeah, I guess so, folks.
Legend.
Thanks for joining us here on Woodward and Maine. All the little pieces around here. Lions,
little
don't
pieces.
listen to what these people, the Lions can't win. They can't. But lonely. This is a new team, new coaching staff, new players, new attitude, new everything. Lions will win today 27-21. And once again, I always advise this for the older people out there. Take your blood pressure pills because it's going to be tight.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell said last year, put your diapers on. You should take your
Right.
blood pressure pills.
I'm looking out for the old folks.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about that yet.
I'll handle the young, the youths, as
Yeah.
they said in my
How
cousin
about
Vinny.
this? You put on your diapers.
All right.
Old people like me take your blood pressure pills.
Some old people need
And
that.
slimy, Sneaky Pete is right in the middle. You do both.
Do both.
I have to take my vitamins, dude.
Vitamins, blood pressure pills, and diapers.
There you go, buddy.
That's the new game day, the Lions game day starter pack.
Right. With a Hutch jersey.
Social, you know the 4 boxes.
Right.
I mean? Kool-Aid.
Oh no, they used to give you like a T-shirt, a little cup, and something like that. Now the new Lions game day pack is diaper, blood pressure pills.
Yeah.
What was the last one?
Hutch jersey.
Oh,
Hutch jersey.
yeah. You still give him a shirt.
What was the third one we just said?
Diaper, blood pressure pills.
What about a bib for eating kneecaps?
And as much alcohol as
Bibs
possible.
for eating kneecaps. Chase
I like
said?
that one, Chase.
Right.
Maybe a fork and a knife.
Well, no, you got to do something to help the fans.
Actually, maybe the chat has something. Chat. I'm not seeing it yet. Put in the comments in the chat after we wrap up this show. What is that third part of the Lions starter
I don't
pack?
think there was a third part. It was both. Either
Yeah, it's either or.
blood pressure pills, the diapers, or both.
Count it. I'll do both.
Okay.
Pre-game.
You should do both.
Yeah. Just
Well,
not
you're
easy
still
market.
young though. Just do the diaper.
All right. I got my coffee. This is getting the heart rate
All
going.
right. Sounds great.
Shout out.
Everybody, we had a good time. Thanks for joining us. Peace out and enjoy the Lions' victory. We're out. Woodward and Maine.
Forward down the field.
Lions.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and WoodwardSports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.